Good morning, everyone. Rick here with Rick and Deb's Awesome Adventures. We are in Caldwell, Kansas this morning. Caldwell, Kansas has a very rich history. I want to read you just a brief synopsis of Caldwell, Kansas. First of all, I'll let you know we're in Sumner County, Kansas. We're just a hop, skip, and a jump from the Oklahoma state line. Caldwell was founded in 1887 and incorporated as a city in 1879. It was named after Senator Alexander Caldwell. Caldwell was a cattle town. It's where they drove the cattle from Wichita, Kansas, to Caldwell. It was also called the Wicked Border Queen, and I'll tell you here, I'm going to read you just a brief synopsis of that. Caldwell, Kansas, known as the Border Queen, saw wild days as a Kansas cow town and jumping off point to the Oklahoma land rush days. Located just north of the Oklahoma border, the town was established in 1871 and named in honor of United States Senator Alexander T. Caldwell of Leavenworth, Kansas. The first building was erected by Captain C.H. Stone, one of the founders of the town site, who built a log house that was used as a store and the first post office. Stone became a fledgling city's first postmaster. Other buildings soon followed, including a hotel, other businesses, the Red Light Saloon, which thrived with Indian and cowboy customers. Situated along the Oklahoma Trail, the town catered to many cowboys who passed by with their large cattle herds on their way to Abilene and Wichita. However, it remained little more than a trading post until 1879, when it had about 260 residents. When the Santa Fe Railroad extended its line to Caldwell, Wichita investors noticed and formed a town company in 1879, selling lots for $125. The city was incorporated and quickly promoted its opportunity as a cattle shipping point. The town grew quickly and soon boasted some 1,500 people. As the town sprouted, saloons, gambling dens, and brothels. The first town north of Indian Territory, the place where the cowboys could go wild after months on the dusty and treacherous trail. Gunfights, showdowns, and hangings were soon commonplace. One of the first incidents occurred at the Moreland Saloon on July 7, 1879, when Deputy Constable James Wilson and the citizens George Flatt cornered two cowboys named Woods and Adams, who had been firing their guns outside the saloon in celebration of being paid for a Texas cattle drive earlier in the day. The confrontation led to gunplay, and when the smoke cleared, Woods and Adams were dead. In the melee, an innocent bystander named Kaiser was wounded. Having now made a reputation for himself, Flatt was soon made Caldwell's first city marshal. He gladly took credit for shooting the cowboys, but no one ever came forward to accept responsibility for the Kaiser. And I will also tell you that over this course of a couple of years, 18 marshals were murdered. So that's just a brief synopsis of Caldwell, Kansas. So we're going to go do a walking tour of Caldwell. So come along and follow us. We're currently parked at this old, I presume was an old gas station at one time. And the pumps are still here, although it hadn't probably been a gas station in many, many, many years. So we're just going to start walking down Main Street here. Okay, we're only about 50 minutes from our home base there in Winfield, less than an hour. But we take the back roads. That's kind of a scenic little drive. This morning. It is Thursday morning. And I do believe it's the 18th today. We were here once a long time ago, but it's probably been 6-7 years ago when we were here. Now this says Rupp's Relics. Oh, I would love to go in there and look around. I bet that'd be interesting. We buy and sell antiques. And oh my, I can tell just by looking, they'd have a lot of really interesting things to look at. There's no Dr. Pepper pop machine. This was also known as the Chisholm Trail back in the cattle driving days. Ooh, I would love to go in there and look around. I don't know if I can get that on camera or not, but there is a plethora of pretty cool stuff in there. And unfortunately, a lot of places like this are closed. Now here, it says here, the Grand Opera House. By 1884, the growing city of Caldwell was interested in promoting the finer cultural aspects of life, and plans were made to construct a new Grand Opera House. During that year, an opulent 3-story brick structure was erected on this site. It was the pride of Caldwell, and its size and elegance were unmatched anywhere in the Southwest. It was erected at a cost of $20,000. It seated about 1,200 people and contained a roller skating rink in the basement. Oh, that's interesting. The dedication was held on the evening of January 12th, 1885, and was followed by the opening performance of the Mascot, presented by the Fay Templeton Comic Opera Company. Over the years, it became the hub of the Caldwell social scene and was used for such events as graduation ceremonies, as well as being visited by major theatrical troupes of the day, such as the Boston Opera Company. On February 19, 1918, the Grand Opera House was destroyed in a spectacular fire, where nearby businesses were saved. The Opera House was a total loss, along with 25 trained dogs were kenneled in the basement, and a number of home guard rifles, which added to the flames. Plans were immediately begun to build again on the old site, but never came to fruition. So that's interesting. I like when they have little information like that along the way. It helps explain, okay, now here's a picture of the Caldwell Opera House. Wow. Okay. And here we have some advertisements. Harold's Cafe, Shirley's Cafe. Owner Shirley, well, I can't pronounce that last name, I better not even try. Owner Blanche O. Bernard. Ritz Cafe, air-cooled. Oscar's Cafe. And there's an old Coca-Cola sign up there. Looks like there's some fall decorations that need to be put together, maybe still. The Star Barber Shop, owner Ernie Sink. Do your son a favor and take him to the Star Barber Shop. Okay. Coming soon, Border Queen Bunkhouse. Okay. I'm not sure what that means. But at any rate, yeah, looks like they're working on it there. Caldwell Food Bank, it says. Okay. Well, that's interesting. That's what it is. Okay. And this looks like a city building. The city of Caldwell, Kansas. The city commission chambers, rather. Municipal court. And then this must be where all the city trucks are. in this garage. Caldwell, Kansas. Caldwell Public Works. Okay. And this says, "Hello, Pumpkin, 111 South Main." No public. Okay. This must be like a secondhand store, I'm assuming. Grace Place is the name of it. Rex to Riches. The second floor, Saturday, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Okay. Yeah, that's what it is. And the Blue Jays must be the name of their local team, sports team, football team maybe. And then we're coming up on a bank, Stock Exchange Bank. There's several murals here. I'm going to try to get pictures of all of the murals before we leave. Right now, I just thought I would do a walking tour of Caldwell. Big pumpkin. Boy, a pretty good sized pumpkin. That building over there in the corner looks like a very old building, which it undoubtedly is. Well, and they've got them a town square. I guess that's what it is. And I bet you this empty lot, there might have been a building that sat in here. I'm not real sure. But we might be finding out here in a little bit. This plaque is dedicated to the memory of the men from this community that served their country under the utmost of trying times as prisoners of war. Okay, just what I thought. The Leland Hotel stood here from 1880 to 1970 when a fire swept through the historic structure. It was built of brick, 3 stories high, 46 guest rooms, a barber shop, bridal chamber, bar room, dining hall, and kitchen. Major Odom, a large cattle dealer, built the hotel for other cattlemen due to Caldwell's ongoing rivalry between its cattle and farm city interests. The Leland Hotel stood in 1880 as one of the largest hotels in southern Kansas and was the most hospitable to its guests, so long as they were an advocate of the cattle industry. Okay. And here is a picture of the Leland Hotel. Okay. All right. Well, I can tell already we're going to have a time with large trucks coming through the area. I really had no idea that there were so many large trucks. The railroad influence. The Atchison, Topeka, and Santa Fe Railroad reached here from the north on June 13, 1880, and Caldwell joined Baxter Springs. Oh yeah, we've been to Baxter Springs many, many, many times. Abilene, of course, too. Newton and Wichita, Ellsworth and Dodge City in the pages of history as a Kansas cow town. Hundreds of thousands of Texas Longhorn cattle were shipped here between 1880 and 1886. A host of other railroads built and or operated through here over the years. Names like Chicago, Caldwell, and Rock Island, 1886, Gouda Springs, Caldwell, and Western, 1885, St. Louis, San Francisco, Frisco, 1886, Chicago, Rock Island, and Pacific, Rock Island, 1891, Oklahoma, Kansas, and Texas, Katy, 1980, and the Union Pacific 1988 could be seen on locomotives, depots, and paychecks. The railroads brought from Caldwell new families, the mail, fertilizer for the farms, parts for the tractors, revenue for the city, cafes, and merchants, and more than a small amount of aggravation for drivers at rail crossings. Hobos lived along the right-of-way in cardboard boxes. Generations of children laid pennies on the rails and dreamed of faraway places, and adults watched in amazement as the rocket or other futuristic locomotives pulling unknown people and goods roared through the town. A century later, there were fewer Caldwell citizens and even fewer trains. But like old friends, each knows that things would have been much different if not for the other. After so many years, even on a train's approaching whistle, it's a Caldwell more of a sound of greeting than a warning. Okay. There's a coffee can or a tin man there. Now this particular building is all boarded up, so to speak. I don't really know. That's an empty building. Corbin Country Church, it says. Okay. Creative Vibes Art Studio. Caldwell merch sold here. But they are closed. I like the colorful upstairs, upper portion of the building. And here, Hagar Acres Farm to Home. And up at the very top it says William Cunningham. Okay. And this is Shooting Gallery Portrait Studio. And there's no GE appliance sign. GE, you can still make it out a little bit. GE something electric. This has a facade on the front of it here. Books, prints, and postcards. Oh, here you go. There's actually a Border Queen Museum. Well, that would really be interesting to go through. You got to call a number to tour the museum. And I don't know, we're not going to do that this morning. Dr. Harold A. Small, general dentist, better health through dentistry. Okay. Border Queen Caldwell, the toughest town on the Chisholm Trail. That is very true. That's just frightening. It's a pretty rough little town. Like I say, we will be going on the other side of Main Street, and then I'll probably take a lot of pictures. It says Caldwell with cattle on one side, cattle drive on one side, 1871, and then train on the other. I just read it was popular or famous for both. Police department, well, I can't talk. Police department is right down the street down there, and we have a venture food store coming up. It looks like it's Edgar's, Edgers, Jeff and Chuck, Edgar, Caldwell, Kansas. All right. I think that the big huge semis have taken over the cattle drives and the trains. There's something coming through that's very large, oversized load. I'm not sure what that is. Okay. Yes, we've had quite a time of it with huge semis. And they have a pharmacy, Caldwell Pharmacy. And it says it's open. Village Green, it says. I'm not sure. It says welcome alumni. Oh, they have a bakery and coffee shop. Susie's Bakery and Coffee Shop. Hours Tuesday through Friday, 6 to 2, and Saturday, 8 to noon. All right, well, that makes sense. Class of 2027. Lucky day, Blue Jay. Lucky day to be a DJ. Okay. And it looks like they've got a gambler and the Blue Jay mascot, a football player, and a cowboy, and they are playing cards. Yeah, okay. And then it says this is a Ken Oakla design studio. Okay. Yeah. Well, I think we're to the end of this side of Main Street. So we're going to turn around and we're going to go back. Okay. I'm not sure what this is back here, unless it's apartments or something. It says upstairs downtown. Okay. I'm assuming, no, I should not do that. I don't know what that is. Upstairs. It does say upstairs downtown. They could be apartments. I have not a clue. So I better not assume anything. I don't know what it is. Here's another plaque. We're going to read it here. The Southwestern Hotel, 1884 to 1972, built by C.G. Stahl and a group of investors at a cost of $17,000. The Southwestern Hotel stood here for almost a century, boasting 38 rooms, including a servant's sitting room, billiards room, barber shop, fine dining hall, ballroom, a laundry and bridal chamber. The three-story brick building was elegantly furnished throughout. Its restaurant was well known for its wide-ranging exotic menu in 1886. The meal then included haunch of venison with chow chow, salmon salad, sponge Boston brown bread, beena stewed corn, and English plum pudding, followed its years as a hotel. The fine old building served as city's hospital until 1965, when a new district facility was opened. Okay, well that's interesting. Some of those menus I'm not real familiar with, but that's okay. We may have to kind of wait here for a minute. We have yet another semi coming through. But kind of got to wait here a minute. Okay. I think we can safely pass here in just a minute. We've got and I'm guessing that this was a gas station at one time with the Sinclair Dino emblem. But yeah, that's what it looks like. It was an old gas station of some sort. Okay, now we're on the other side of Main Street. And that Canocla building at the very top, it's got 1910 on it with, it was the International Order of Oddfellows. I'm gonna have to stop and probably take a few pics on my way back. Yeah. It's otherwise very quiet. It's just for all the semis, of course. And another bank. This is the Impact Bank here in Caldwell. And it says, "Happy fall, y'all." That's really cool. And then we're coming up on their colonial style post office. Now this is really, really cool. I like stuff like this. Kind of gives you that feel like what you might find in Pennsylvania. Boy, that sun. We'll try to get out of the sun here just a little bit. There we go. Very pretty building for being a post office. It really is. Ooh. Yeah. Caldwell, Kansas. Post office. Okay, well, stopped and took a few pics. Isn't that neat? Okay, now, in my intro, I talked about this. The murder of Marshal George Flatt. George Flatt, 1853 to 1880, Caldwell's first city marshal and a fearless gunfighter, was gunned down here the night of June 19, 1880, 2 months after leaving the police force. Flatt had argued with two police officers early in the evening and died in a hail of gunfire walking home. The mayor, the new marshal, and the entire police force were arrested by the county sheriff. Only the marshal, William Horseman, faced a trial and he was acquitted 1 year later. Okay. This is a very, look at the line of semis coming over here. It's like a parade. Huh? Wow. We're getting a parade of semis. That's crazy. There's a fifth wheel turning. But here come the semis, 3 of them. Yeah, I do believe it's safe to say that the cattle drives have been replaced with semis, at least here in Caldwell, Kansas. Yeah. Okay. Ha! Wow. Okay. And this is a mortuary. Schaefer Mortuary. Lucky day to be a Blue Jays. Okay. The Nostalgia Nook. Antiques, collectibles, gift items, and more. And they are actually open. We may have to just go in there and take a look around if they don't mind. I may have to go in there and find out. And if they do, then I'll just keep on going. Okay, well, the owner was not in, so I did not do any video in there. But we'll go on, that's fine. Oh, look, they got a vending machine that has t-shirts and water bottles. I guess they're t-shirts. Car freshies, a pen, keychains, and t-shirts. Okay, well, they sold just a little bit of everything in that vending machine. And there's another, I'm going to have to take a picture of that here in just in a minute. We may walk on down, then I'm going to start taking pictures. We had breakfast this morning at a restaurant here called the Red Barn Restaurant. They are on the southernmost end of the town on Main Street. In fact, you're just almost to the out of town, but if you're passing through this area, I would highly recommend checking them out. The food was very, very good. We had the chicken fried steak breakfast and it was very, very good. Now here is the some more Cowboys stagecoach. And this is Opera House, 1881, Caldwell, Kansas. Okay, then here's the cattle drive on the other side. And here is a law office. Now, what do we have here? Oh, it's a flower place. They sell flowers. Talbot Gang Shootout. On December 17, 1881, in the Alley East, Mike Mager, past Wichita Marshal and Caldwell Mayor, was killed in a shootout with Jim Talbot and his gang. Also killed by the gunfire was George Spears, former policeman who had changed to the Talbot side. The fight lasted long enough for a hardware store to pass guns and ammunition out to townspeople. Okay, wait a minute. The fight lasted long enough for a hardware store to pass guns and ammunition out to townspeople. There we go. Only one of the 4 gang members was convicted. Jim Talbot was one of those acquitted but was later killed, probably by Meagher's brother, who was seen following Talbot from the courthouse at Wellington after Talbot's release. Wow, crazy. Crazy, crazy. And this is, I'm not sure, oboes, maybe? Okay, I'm not sure.
Hi, I'm John, and you're about to see it's going to be the new distillery, 18 acres lounge, and it's going to be the new bar, which actually stands 2 doors down. We're remodeling the entire building, floor to ceiling. We've torn out all the walls to expose the original rock.
Wow, that is cool. Do you know about what year this building was?
It was original to downtown, so I'm thinking 1800s.
1800s, okay.
Or early 1900s.
Okay.
Yep.
Wow.
The very back is going to be the kitchen.
Wow. Very nice. So you haven't been working on this very long, I take it?
Not too long, but we're hoping to be done by Thanksgiving or Christmas.
Wow. Oh, that's really cool. Oh, I like that. I just love old buildings.
It used to be a thrift store before we got it. And
oh, really?
It was full to the ceiling with stuff. And there's an upstairs too, an old apartment, and it's full of stuff too.
Wow.
Yep.
Oh, that is so cool. Okay.
It's an experience.
I bet it is. Well, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Appreciate it. We'll give you a huge shout out. What's your name again?
John Peters.
John Peters. Okay, we'll have it on, and we'll give you a huge shout out.
All right.
Thank you very much for your interview.
Yes,
for
sir.
allowing us to look around a little bit.
Thank you for coming to Caldwell.
Yeah, thank
Go
you.
Blue Jays.
Okay. All right. Well, that was very, very nice. Oh, look at this. That's really neat too. I like that. And like you said, those are the original walls. That is really so cool.
Yes,
I just love stuff like this. Thanks again.
All right, nice meeting you too.
Yes.
You have a good day.
Yeah, thank you. Very friendly, very nice individual. Let's look around a little bit. Nice. The Spot Fitness Center. Sip Socially 18 Acres Lounge. Okay. Bluff Creek Distillery. He said it was 2 doors down. Well, here it is. That is so cool. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Yep. That actually turned out pretty good. Sometimes you can look through these windows and get a pretty good look, and sometimes you can't. This says Sugar Sisters. Okay. Order of Bandits Pickin' Parlor. Okay. Charles Seringo, Cowboy Detective. Okay. And this says Saloon. Last Chance. Well, no, that's the other one. That's Saloon. And it is presently closed. Last Chance Bar and Grill. Caldwell, Kansas. Last Chance Bar and Grill. Yeah, okay. Native Stone Building. This corner was occupied by the Exchange Saloon, the site of many shooting incidents between cowpokes and outlaws during the 1870s and 1880s. The saloon was destroyed by fire in 1898. The first floor of this building was built in 1902 with materials taken from the 3rd floor of the Native Stone Building, 1 block north. The differing stone can be seen on the south side of this building. Both buildings are made of stone quarried by hand 5 miles southwest of Caldwell and brought to town by horse and wagon. Okay. Oh, yeah, that's right. Look, you can tell the different kinds of stone. Oh, see, one's got kind of a reddish hue, and then the bottom's more of maybe a vanilla color. Yeah. See, it's stuff like that that's very interesting. Why they have these plaques out that you can read the history of these old buildings and businesses. That is so cool. We're just kind of walking down a side street right now. And here is an old cart. Armors. I can't make that out. It almost says like it says Winfield on it, but I don't know. I can't really make it out. Okay. I'm sure that's not what it says on there. And across the street we've got a Grady's Heating and Cooling building. Yeah, when I get the video over with me, we may have to just kind of ride around a little bit. I know I'm missing some murals. Oh, this is really nice. Look at this little gazebo here. The grass is still remarkably green. It really is. I don't know if you can make that out or not. It's the Chisholm portrait by Harold T. Holden, era of the cattle trails and Cherokee Strip history. This is by the close of the Civil War in 1865. The cattle herds and cowboys from Texas began forging trails through Oklahoma and the Cherokee Strip to the railheads in Kansas. The most famous route of all was the Chisholm Trail. Caldwell, Kansas became the final terminus for the herds in the late 1880s. As the railroads began extending their tracks further south into the Cherokee Strip. Okay, very interesting. And this is called Cherokee Heritage Park. Right now it's got benches set out. Again, there's a mural of the stagecoach and the train in the background, the Indian settlement. Here. Caldwell, the Border Queen, and that founded 1871, incorporated by 1879 by a town company of investors from Wichita, and named for the U.S. Senator Alexander Caldwell. The original town site laid north of Avenue F, the Kansas state line, prior to 1876, one of the original cow towns in Kansas. Violence and politics claimed 16 city marshals between 1879 and 1885, and led to a Wichita editor to write as we go to press held his begin in session in Caldwell. Founded on the Chisholm Trail, which was 200 to 400 yards wide and ran just east of this park in a northerly direction, Caldwell acted as a railroad shipping point for the Texas Longhorn cattle. By 1886, the cattle shipping had moved west as farmers settled the area and planted their Russian hard winter wheat. In 1893, Congress opened to settlement the Cherokee Outlet, and thousands of land-hungry pioneers staged here before making the last great land rush in America. Caldwell of the past was home to gunslingers, cowboys, prostitutes, Indians, saloon keepers, and criminals. But around this sign today is a proud, quiet farming community made up of good citizens instilling its small town values in its youth. Though, as Bill O'Neill wrote of Caldwell in 1980, in just the right light, it is not difficult to imagine the sounds of a former saloon of cattle hooves and gunfire. Originally sold as empty lots in 1879 for $125, by 1887, a $45,000 three-story building stood here, made of Caldwell brick with St. Louis brick fronts and blue-cut limestone accents. The building stood 75 feet tall and was the highest private building in Sumner County. The Masonic Lodge was on the third, known to recent generations as the J.C. Penney store. The building was home to a variety of professionals, businesses, and families during its 102-year existence, finally succumbing to time, disrepair, and the Wreckers' Ball in 1989. Catty-corner to the northwest was the Leland, a legendary 1883 cattleman's hotel. There is a tunnel running between here and the Leland, under Main Street, built as an exit from the hotel for gamblers when law enforcement took exception to illegal activities. Such exception rarely occurred in Cowtown, Caldwell in the 1880s, for it might have hurt businesses in the booming city. There's a tunnel under here. Wow, that is so cool. I wish I'd opened that up for tours. Wouldn't that be cool? That would be. Okay, well, we're going to walk on. We're not quite done with this side yet. We stopped and took some pictures. I think we're just about done with the video portion of this. Hope you enjoyed this tour of Caldwell, Kansas. If you live anywhere near Caldwell, I would highly recommend. It's got a rich history and a lot of old buildings, and it's just really nice, really cool little town. I want to thank all my subscribers for subscribing and liking our videos. Oh, here's our public library. Well, I think we're just about where we started. So I think we're going to call it good. I want to take I got a lot more pictures to take, and of course that'll all be included on the video. So, again, if you made it all the way to this video, I really appreciate it. Please remember to like, subscribe, and share. I would greatly appreciate it. And also, like I always say, go out and explore your part of the world, your neck of the woods. Have a good time. Have fun, but be safe. That's the most important thing. I got another plaque to read here, just real quick. The Legend of Mount Lookout. Just south of town is the red sandstone bluff, first known as Manning's Peak, following the killing of a cowboy by that name at a gunfight in town in 1872. Manning's brothers refused to bury him in Kansas and mistakenly believed they were across the state line when they buried the departed cowpoke. Discovering their error, they returned from Texas, exhumed the body, and returned home. The depression of the open grave is still visible. The Santa Fe Railroad built a spur line and cattle pens on the hill's eastern slope. When Kansas closed its settled lands to Texas cattle and their dangerous fever disease, by 1885 the bluff became known as Mount Lookout after local saloon girls kept vigil at the highest point to watch for approaching Texas cattle herds. It was important to be ready for the customers of Caldwell's well-known vices and few moments of silence allowed. The businessmen to better display their wares, be they whiskey, dice, or feminine charm. In the years since, locals and travelers alike have reported on moonlit nights seeing a mysterious woman in white standing motionless atop the hill, her dress waving in the breeze, apparently looking southward. She seems to again be awaiting the dust cloud of the longhorn cattle, a sure sign of profitable and lively days to come. Gunfire kills lawman. Though an incorporated city for only 3 years, Caldwell needed their 9th marshal. Unfortunately for the city and the new marshal, a 10th would soon follow. Appointed in March of 1882 by George S. Brown, 28, lived to enforce the law only until hot weather set in. On June 22, 1882, Marshal Brown was killed by Texas cowboys Steve and Jess Green in the Red Light Saloon as Brown and a deputy answered a service call. With the help of the saloon employees, the Green brothers escaped into Indian Territory, only to be caught in a gunfight with Texas lawmen in October. Steve Green and a deputy sheriff were killed, and Jess Green was captured riddled with 13 gunshot wounds. The Kansas governor gladly paid the Texas posse the $1,000 Kansas reward money. Following an obviously uncomfortable wagon ride from Wise County, Texas, Jess Green died on November the 5th in the county jail in Wellington, just prior to his murder trial. As a sign of its respect, Main Street closed during the marshal's funeral, an event unheard of during the Cowtown period. The marshal's grave is located in the city cemetery, Section 3, Lot 108. I bet that would be a very interesting cemetery to go and visit. Okay, well, like I was saying, I think I'm done with the video portion. I think I'm going to start taking pictures. And going to call it a day here in Caldwell, Kansas. Glad you joined. Hope you had a good time. It's a beautiful day today. Today and tomorrow, I think through Sunday or Monday, it's supposed to be just like today. But get out and have fun and enjoy this nice weather while you can before we get into the more winter-like weather. And as always, we will see you on the next video. So, goodbye for now. Okay, I had to get back on here. I missed stuff for the video, so this is going to kind of be a extra little video. I missed all kinds of stuff. This is a Caldwell Messenger, like it might have been a newspaper one time. Then there's a Caldwell Messenger Suites. So there's another plaque here explaining the plaque. Historic Marker Project. The many historic markers on display on Caldwell streets were commissioned by the Caldwell Cherokee Strip Centennial Committee in 1992 in anticipation of the celebration of the run in April and September 1993. The project preserves a part of Caldwell's past for many visitors and future generations. The work of the Historic Marker Subcommittee with the help of many others, allows you to enjoy some of the history that these streets and buildings witnessed over 100 years ago during Caldwell's stormy Cowtown period. We hope that you enjoy your stroll into history. The Last Run Rush. On September 16, 1893, 15,000 land-hungry whites gathered here to make the run into Cherokee Outlet to the south. Caldwell was one of 9 places where over 100,000 potential settlers awaited cavalry soldiers. Gunshots to start the last land rush in the United States. The outlet, commonly but incorrectly referred to as the Strip, contained 600,000 acres and roughly lay between Caldwell, Stillwater, and the Oklahoma Panhandle. Originally set aside for the Indians in 1835, the outlet went unused and white cattlemen grazed Texas Longhorn cattle across it on the way to eastern markets. Under heavy pressure from the white land squatters known as boomers and lacking help from federal authorities to protect their property, the Indians reluctantly began negotiations with Washington in 1889. The Cherokees sold the outlet to the government in 1891 for $8.5 million, but when Congress finally appropriated the monies in 1893, the Indians were shorted $200,000. Wow. Yeah, I was just kind of walking around these side streets and come up all of this. So, yeah. I thought I better jump back on up here and show you some more. And there's probably a lot more areas too that I'm not aware of. And I previously stated, we may have just kind of ride around here for a little bit once we get done. There's a Mexican restaurant right over there. And I found another mural. I went online and there are several of these, but you kind of got to know where to look, and I don't know where to look. So I'm just kind of winging it. But as you can tell, these buildings are very old. Let's go up here and get a look at this one. This says the Border Queen, Caldwell, the toughest town on the Chisholm Trail. 1871. Wow. Huh. We'll go back up to Main Street now. And I may add on to the video, maybe if I find something else interesting, but I had to show this. There's a lot here for being a small town. very busy little town, I'll tell you that much. Okay, I'm back again. I found yet another plaque. This in regards to Cowtown law enforcement. On August 21, 1879, the Caldwell Police Force, consisting of a marshal and assistant marshal, was created by the city council. The new officers would daily take before the new police and judge ruffians, card sharks, vagrants, drunks, fast wagon drivers, and the occasional murderer. Officers also arrested a number of women for being prostitutes, parading in the streets, or being suspicious and unattended female public. The cost of the new police protection was more than 1/3 of the city's annual budget. The first marshal received $33 a month, plus $1 for each arrest and each civil paper served. However, by 1885, rising lawlessness required the salary to be increased to $100 during cattle drive season. Police work in Caldwell was a challenge. A cowtown was required to be a place known on the trail for its cowboy-friendly activities, or the cattle herd money would not return the following season. Yet, at the same time, city residents wanted a safe, quiet community for their families. Officers simply overlooked the illegal alcohol and gambling, but then stepped in to stop the drunken brawls and shootings. After 3 years as a cowtown, the city council still could not decide whether an honest citizen or a tough gunfighter with a dark past be or made a better marshal. The local honest man would be known and liked, but the gunfighter might be better protect the town. Few of Caldwell's 16 cowtown marshals could today be viewed as law-abiding public servants. It was not until 1949 that the first career police chief, Max Schreibner, was hired. He is credited with implementing in Caldwell's the new idea of the trained professional real police officer. As Chief Schreibner kept the Caldwell area safe and quiet for over 35 years, an effort greatly appreciated by this old cowtown. Okay. All right.